Robbie Nielsen steps up. That's just calm from Robbie Nielsen.
I tell you what, the one thing that boy's got is good steel.
And here comes Grantner. Chance for David Graham. Brilliant! Oh, what a challenge! That was a goal-saving challenge and possibly a cup-winning challenge from Robbie Nielsen.
I came here tonight to hear the crowd go. Boom, shake, shake, shake the room. Boom, shake, shake, shake the room. Boom, shake, shake, shake the room. Tick, 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 boom.
Hi, Robert. It's Robert.
Yeah,
You're Robert.
hi.
Hi. Did you see the Olympics were on recently?
Oh
The
yeah,
Olympics,
yeah,
yeah.
I've heard of them. Yeah.
Did you enjoy them? Did you watch the sports? The Olympic sports?
Yeah, cycling.
Cycling,
Yeah.
like the athletics.
Yeah,
Ping
some of
pong.
it. I mean, it's gone quite late, but yeah.
Did you see and enjoy the diving?
Yep, I did. It was. Didn't watch it.
Didn't watch it.
Didn't
no.
watch it, mate. Sorry.
No, I don't know why I brought it up. It's completely irrelevant.
Completely irrelevant. Yeah.
Welcome to We Have No Cares. I'm Nicole.
I'm Rob.
Yay!
Yay.
It's just us. It's just us for a quick and late podcast.
Yeah.
But it's going to be packed. It's going to be packed with lots of tactical discussions. So, you've gone. You've already
Oh
left.
shit! Fuck.
Oh,
Oh, well, it's just you and me now.
just you, me, and Steve Crawford sitting taking notes, probably,
Yeah, sure.
because we're very wise
Absolutely. Yeah.
and learned.
Yep.
Okay, we played Hamilton academical.
It's easy for you to say.
There was about 2 or 3 times during the phrase that I almost had to bail out, but I think I just about kept the car on the corner.
There's no R's in Hamilton Academical, man. You
Yeah.
fit in 5. It's it's a talent, to be fair.
Yeah. Describe a Scottish football team like a pirate day. Yeah, so interesting game, very interesting game, I thought. So we started off with our winning lineup from the last few games.
Yep.
Apart from Jamie Walker was slotted in instead of Sam Nicholson.
Yep. After Sam Nicholson's arduous journey to Kiev to play football for Scotland under 21s.
Is that right? Is that the reason?
Yes, yeah, I think him and John Souttar were both quite tired, but John Souttar is more robot than man, so he was okay to carry on.
Yeah, they asked John if he was okay, and he just went, "Don't feel pain."
John Souttar was so dedicated to playing in that match, he actually got sent off for Scotland under 21 so he could get an early bath, wee early night, and then on the flight home. So
He's a clever lad.
he's a pro.
Yeah,
He's a pro.
he knows what he's doing.
He knows his
at
priorities.
all times.
Priorities are hearts. Yep.
Great stuff. All right, cool. Well, that explains that. I did think it was kind of weird ahead of the game that they were sort of breaking up a winning formula, but your explanation makes sense and also highlights that I really didn't pay that much attention to doing to the Scotland under 21 team.
It would appear so. Yeah, it's just as well because they really are not that great as a team.
Yeah.
A lot of good individual players, but Ricky Sprazier. That's
Terrific guy, exactly the sort of guy you want to develop your youths.
the sort of guy who resigned and then got, I think, possibly given the under 17s job.
It's when you're lucky, you're lucky.
Yeah. When you've got the chat. Yeah.
Well done, Richard Sabrasia.
Indeed. It's like, it kind of reminds me actually, I'm sure a lot of you listened and watched Scotland's game and the story that Stephen Presley was told he had no future at Hearts and then the same day offered the assistant manager's job.
Yes.
Fucking amazing scenes. Just before you go, Stephen, would you like a job? We've heard you're open now. We've heard you're free.
Yeah. Though, to be fair, I don't think they were entirely inaccurate because managerial positions at Hearts at that time and no future were really quite interchangeable terms.
Yeah, they were very much one and the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what a tangent already.
Indeed.
We didn't even start the game.
Lovely.
So the first thing that struck me from the game was actually Hamilton. And like I've got a weird opinion about Hamilton because
Go for it,
I felt like from the start they kind of impressed me in that they were quite fast and they were quite organised. They broke well. They all sort of ran to the right places and they looked like reasonably good up until the point that you realise that they've only got like 3 good players and therefore couldn't actually do anything with all their nice organisation and plans.
I was actually quite surprised. Like Hamilton's away form, especially this season, has been very good. They got a draw at Ibrox on the opening day of the season. They got a draw at Dundee. as well, and they've just generally not been as awful as everyone thought they were going to be, and Martin Canning is beginning to look like a competent manager after having been given an 18-month head start of embarrassing results against Annan and all that kind of stuff. So I was quite surprised to see them starting, and Connor Salmon was basically let through on goal twice. Squandered both chances, but that surprised me because their defensive solidity this year, Hamilton's been pretty good. But it took their defender, Dan Seaborn, getting injured for them to actually look properly organised at the back. And then Massimo Donati went to sweeper. And they just stopped everything that we had to offer, which was more what I was expecting them to do from the start.
Yeah, they looked solid. Like Donati being one of their good players, the other one being their other centre half, Saris, who, despite not looking anything like a football player,
he's just the funniest looking guy.
Was very competent. And Connor Salmon again got blocked by him twice, very good sort of last ditch tackles that were quite impressive. He just seemed quite aware, despite the fact, he's an odd looking guy with his beard and his number 89 shirt, but the thing that really upset me is that his shorts almost touched the top of his socks.
Oh really?
Yeah, and it was just an odd look for a football player, and I did not enjoy it.
That's the Tony Watt look, to be fair.
Is that what Tony Watt
Tony
look?
Watt wears basketball style shorts with the long sleeves and the cut holes in his socks. He's an individual man. I like it.
See, obviously I've got a lot of time for the basketball look on basketball players.
Absolutely,
but, these are not basketball players.
No, they're footballers, man. Yeah.
It's an important difference, I find.
Yes, it absolutely is. But yeah, Hamilton do have some impressive players, and they have started the season fairly impressively, but they're just not as good as Hearts, which is nice. Yeah.
Like I said, the weird sort of sensation about it, it's like, this is like a reasonably good, impressive team that haven't really threatened us at all.
Yeah.
So, in that vein, I wouldn't say we dominated the first half, but we were certainly the better team and on top. And for better and worse, that was all down to Tony Watt.
Yeah, he wasn't quite in his form, say, against Cali Thistle or even Partick Thistle in the last game we played. He was running into corners quite a lot, but he still just has that ability to create anything, and a lot of it, annoyingly in a way, is from the midfield, because he drops so deep to get the ball, to get involved, that when the ball does eventually break through to a striker, it's always Connor Salmon. It's never Tony Watt who's getting on the end of passes, but it's fine. It seems to be working for them. But yeah, just his ability to open up the midfield even, or defence is quite incredible. I don't think we've had a player like that in a long time.
No, I was...
From central areas anyway, because obviously Sam Nicholson showed in the second half he can open up defences, but from the middle of the park it's quite exceptional. This was the thing. Tony Watt was at the root of everything we did. We were always looking for Tony Watt, and Tony Watt was always looking to be found. He dropped back, like you said, he made himself available. Now, on the one hand, this was great because he is by far and away our best footballer at the moment, and he was making sort of chances and half chances every time he was on the ball. The problem was we were so focused on him, we became quite predictable in a way, and it really marginalised. Particularly Walker, Cowie and June were so peripheral, and when they did get on the ball, you could tell they just weren't really in their rhythm. I think that partially, it is down to us relying on Tony Watt to create, but I was not upset by it, obviously, because we won the fucking game. But I was quite sort of put out by the fact that Don Cowie was pushed wide and Arnold June played through the middle. June, obviously, we know doesn't play as well out wide, but Cowie's been playing so well through the middle. I thought we'd continue with that, because we saw what he did to Cali Thistle. He completely ran the show in the middle of the park, but he was pushed wider. June was played more centrally, and I think that could maybe be a reason for them being slightly more disjointed, because the reason that we played so well against Cali Thistle is because Salmon, Watt and Cowie were the three central players, but with June coming in, it looked like they just didn't click quite as quickly. Which I know June went and played his debut for Cameroon in that sort of number 10 role, apparently was fantastic, so I can see why, we've seen him play there before, we can see why it happened, but it's the fact it never changed at any time. It was always Cowie out wide and June in the middle. Because
you were saying the Cali game, they switched a lot more.
Yeah, they did, especially in the second half. The first half it was Cowie was through the middle no matter what. Second half they switched it up a bit, but they still got joy against a Cali Thistle team that was tired and getting battered. But in this game, I would have liked to have seen at least maybe 15-20 minutes of Don Cowie through the middle to see that link-up play between him, Sam and Watt again.
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be a problem that you'll have when two of your best midfielders want to play in the same area.
Yeah. It's a good headache to have, but I think that's proven now that I think Cowie's the man.
I mean, there might be solutions if we rejigged our front line slightly and played a 4-3-3 with Perry Holding and Doom and Cowie in front of him. But again, that might be asking Doom and Cowie to do too much shuttling to make up like the sort of bulkiness you need in a midfield in the Scottish game. It might not work.
I really think our best formation is a 4-1-3-2. And that's been proven. I mean, Perry Kitchen in between the 3 and the 4. And then, Watt is going to drop deep anyway, which allows the two wide guys to push a bit further forward. I just think that's our most fluid and our best looking formation, and I think we did drop into that quite a bit on Saturday, but I think we should play to that strength.
So are you looking for the outer two of the midfield 3, if you're keeping score at home, are you looking for them to be more wingers or like combi guys that start narrow and move out?
Narrow and move out. Right. I think, especially if you've got Jamie Walker in the lineup like we did on Saturday, then certainly more narrow to start with, and then Connor Simon's going to run the channels, Jamie Walker can run the channels, he can go out wide if need be, but I think that plays to our strengths a bit more.
Well, this was the other interesting thing while I felt we were I mean, I don't want to say lacking because again we were sort of in charge, but we weren't quite creating and cutting through Hamilton as much as we like. Walker, we've said it so many times in this show, Walker does not like being a winger. He wants to cut inside.
Yeah.
And like we said, that was kind of Tony Watt's zone in this game. So he didn't have the space to come in and do what he wanted to do, and he wasn't stretching the play as much as we like. So we ended up quite congested and narrow.
Yeah.
The one variation that we did do towards the end of the first half, when I think, like the management team realised that we were relying on Watt and we were getting a bit narrow, it was quite interesting. They gave Reras more licence to go up the left wing and instructed Perry, like, rather than being completely central, sort of offset his position to the left so he would cover more when Reras went on. And Reras ended up with 2 or 3 really good runs that got him into the box. But unfortunately, he kind of suffered from the Hamilton problem that once he was there, his footwork's not quite good enough to actually make something happen when he was there. But it was disruptive, and it, and in order to fully accommodate it, Walker went over to the right, and Cowie was the left-sided midfielder, tucking in more centrally.
I really like Faisal Reras now. I've got a lot of time for him. I think it has taken him a wee bit of time to find his feet. A couple of games where he was not great, but the way that he played against Partick Thistle to start with, and then continuing it into this game, and his attitude and his passion and everything, I really like the guy. I think he's got one screamer and he's a cult hero, basically, because you've seen how hard he hits a ball. It's ridiculous. I'm really enjoying the way that he's playing just now. But yeah, that was interesting because you saw Don Cowie's passing ability when he got into that situation as well, because then he had a guy bolting down the wing looking for the ball and a couple of wee reverse passes in behind. There was one time Reras nutmegged the defender. I don't think he was even expecting it to come off, so he just stopped and he went, "Oh fuck!" and tried to run after it. He was like, "Oh, it's been cleared." But yeah, it was nice to see that it's not just Patterson. He's not the only fullback we have that's going to gun it down the wing. Reras is very much an attacking fullback as well. So.
But also interesting that the management team are cautious enough that it's only one at a time.
Yeah.
Patterson was trying to provide width before they made that switch for Reras, but he didn't have his best game. And weirdly, I don't know if this happened in your section, everyone around me seems to have decided that they hate Callum Patterson now.
I think it's a little bit of frustration. He didn't have a great game. For a start on Saturday.
Not particularly, but he's had worse games.
He's certainly had worse games. I think it's just a bit of frustration because they know he's not going to be here next summer, even potentially in January, and that gets up the nose of some Hearts fans. Just the fact that he won't sign a new deal. The guy doesn't want to sign a new deal. He wants to leave, which is fair enough. He's going to see out his contract, which is the minimum requirement of a footballer. But I think that it is in the back of people's minds that he's maybe, betraying some fans by not saying the contract. And
But
some of
with the greatest respect to these fans, what fucking idiot thought he was going to be here beyond the next season?
No, I know, and it is ridiculous. But at the same time, football is a very emotional game, and people get very attached to footballers, and it happens. You know, I love Callum Patterson, but I've grown to accept the fact that he sees his future away from Hearts, which is fine. You know, Hearts have accepted that as well. They've said we've offered him a contract. He's not going to take it, so we'll keep him till next summer, and then he can go for a development fee, and that's it. You know, everyone has come to terms with it apart from some fans.
Yeah.
And yeah, Patterson's got the sort of attitude that fans can either love or hate as well. He loves to win. He hates when it's going against him, so he can be a bit moany. It happens. It does happen. I think, you know, the next time he plays, he'll probably have an absolute world day of a game, and all will be forgiven. It's just the way of some football fans, unfortunately. But it does happen.
You would think after 142 years of being a selling club, you might have got used to the idea that you sometimes sell players.
Yeah.
That you'd rather keep.
Yeah. There you go.
Hey.
As I say, it's an emotional game, and none more so than when you're actually at the game and it's during the 90 minutes. He had a few misplaced passes, and he tried to blame other people a couple of times, which he's been doing since he was 17, since he broke into the team, and now it's just sort of coming to a head. So yeah,
It's an emotional game enjoyed by fuckwits.
indeed. But I still love you, Callum. If you're listening, you're probably not.
No, almost certainly not.
Nope.
Scum. Not even listening to our podcast. Fuck off.
How dare
Get
you?
to Wigan.
Yeah.
So the second half rolled by, and to begin with, we tried to just sort of do the same things, but with a little less intensity, which meant that Hamilton had the opportunity to score a goal.
Yeah, it's almost reverting back to the Hearts I grew up watching, whereby they start the second half really fucking slowly. Like, it's just always happened. Since the start of time, second halves are started slowly. I don't know why it is. But it happened again, and it was a good goal from Hamilton. I think Patterson was beaten a little bit too easily by Gillespie in the box. But it was you know, a well worked move from the right hand side all the way to the left. Good ball into the middle and a decent finish. It was against the run of play, but I still, just because of the way we've started the season and the way Nielsen has changed from maybe looking to conserve things to actually attacking teams with his substitutions, I was never under any doubt that that game was still going to go our way.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, we never really lost that idea of control.
No.
But yeah, if there's something to complain about in that goal, it was how wide their holding midfielder was. Doherty, I think, the number 8. I can't remember, but he like sort of started the move. Like the ball was kind of broke to him like about sort of 40 yards out essentially, and there was really nobody went anywhere near him.
Yeah.
So he was able to pick out Gillespie very easily. But great cross from Gillespie and excellent technique from Crawford to finish it.
I think
and he is one of Hamilton's good players.
Yes,
so.
he is. He went missing for 6 months of last season. He started the season really well. I'm sure the listeners will remember the absolute screamer that he scored against us at New Douglas Park to win it, I think, in the 3-2 game when Patterson was sent off. It was an absolute beauty on his weaker, inverted commas, weaker foot. He's a very talented footballer, and he's got, you know, he's got his reasons to get it right up Hearts as well. We released him when he was a kid because he was too small apparently. So he always, you know, it's got that little bit of needle for him as well. But yeah, those goals I think are always really underrated because Gillespie smashed that cross into the middle.
Yeah,
and he's basically just used the power on the cross and he's caught it perfectly.
But
you can't blame Hamilton in any the goalkeeper in any way. But yeah, it was a good goal, but I just expected him to score. I knew he was going to fucking do it.
Yeah. Tell you who didn't score, Dougie Emery.
Yeah, shot himself at high school though, allegedly.
Allegedly, probably, possibly.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like the sort of thing he'd do.
It does, yeah.
The wide wee bastard.
He certainly is. He's such an angry little man.
Yeah. Nearly killed the guy.
Yeah, he did, yeah. Nice guy.
Lovely man. Oh, we forgot one of the incidents from the first half, which was part of our opening conceit. Tony Watt's not dive.
Yeah, no, he got kicked right directly in the shin. His fall was a bit theatrical, but it's a penalty. It doesn't matter how you fall. He's literally just been kicked. So.
Well, it's interesting because opinion was very split around me in this.
Don't get me wrong. From where I was sitting, I was in section Z, and I was sitting with my old man, and it was a dive all day long. Like it did not look in any way like a foul.
Well, see, this is the thing, and you can see why the referee had a decision to make, because I was right behind it. I had like the perfect view to see that the Hamilton defender had stuck a leg out. Watt saw his opportunity and went over it, but really fucked up the way he went over it.
Yeah.
So, you know, like he made a sort of like, I'm being fouled now arm wave.
Yeah.
So, like, I could see that there had been contact, but that Watt had maybe engineered it. But I thought, I've seen those given, that could be given. But, like, while he was getting booked, like, opinion was, like, exactly 50-50 around me between definite dive and there was a leg.
Yeah.
So,
You've got to, like, I think it's one of those, I think Hearts have done exactly the right thing by appealing the booking, which you can do for simulation or mistaken identity. I think they're doing the right thing, but at the same time, you can't blame Craig Thompson too much.
yeah.
You can't. It was a penalty, it was a mistake by Thompson that he didn't see the contact. But then you've got to look at it from his angle as well, whereby what has flopped over. So wrong decision, but you can kind of just about understand it.
Yeah. I mean, there was elements of simulation in there.
Yeah.
He simulated some parts of it.
He did, yeah. But
So maybe he should have had like 30% of a yellow card.
yeah, 70% penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to take it from 4 yards further out. Yeah, it should have been a penalty, so these things happen.
Yeah.
They even themselves out over the course of a season, as the cliche goes.
They even themselves out over the course of a game.
Apparently.
But yeah, so we were slightly toying, we were still a bit narrow, so the decision was made to get Sam Nicholson the fuck in there.
Yeah.
Interesting that it was June that was taken off rather than Kitchen, because Hamilton really weren't pushing forward. But then again, June having travelled international duty, it probably does make sense when you think about it.
Yeah, I think Nielsen even said it was a premeditated sub. He knew that June had an hour in him, and that was about it. So it makes sense. It did make sense. I think as soon as I saw Nicholson warming up, I said, that's June. That's June Afsky now. So it played out.
Yeah, but it had what a positive effect it had on the team. Suddenly we had more options going forward, and we did have the pace, and we stretched Hamilton, and that is how the first goal came about.
Sam Nicholson's a very good footballer.
He really is.
Very good footballer.
Most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah. No, he lit the game up completely. I think the other subs allowed him a little bit of that space that he got on the right hand side as well. Muirhead and Johnson coming on, because Johnson basically is such a nuisance. He's so fast and so tall that centre halves are completely preoccupied with him, and even Massimo Donati was getting drawn into that battle, which meant Nicholson didn't have a covering sweeper coming over. He just had Gillespie, who had been booked, and Nicholson just lost that sort of situation on the right hand side on his stronger foot as well, which meant he could become a proper winger instead of cutting in. And he just completely. I've not seen a substitute appearance as good as that in ages. It was so good. 2
assists and a goal in less than half an hour.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
That'll do, yeah.
And also allowed Walker to drift inside so he could get his napper on one of those crosses.
Exactly, yeah. I think this podcast has been known to be a Nielsen apologist podcast. Very much so, but I think a lot of the things that Nielsen was getting picked up on last season, I did mention it slightly earlier on, in his lack of attacking subs and the way that he manages games. It's completely turned this season, and he's now chasing games. He's chasing more goals, which is more reminiscent to the Championship season, which I think is great, and it shouldn't be understated at all, these substitutions that he's making, because he changed the game at Partick Thistle and he changed this game as well, which is amazing.
Cool. Great points, except I will pull you up, and I'm not a Nielsen apologist. I make no apologies for the fact I fucking love Robbie Nielsen and all his works.
Yeah, good. Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that put us level pegging, and we just continued in the same vein. Like I said, now that Tony Watt was off, I mean, we'd lost his creative influence, but like you said, more space thanks to the pace and power of Johnson, and and Tony was tiring as well. Yeah. It doesn't seem like he's still consistently got 90 minutes in him, but
it'll come.
He'll get there.
Yeah.
He'll get there. And and then penalty.
Yeah. There's no angle that proves there was no contact.
That was the thing that I got, because I was watching Sports Scene where they were Michael Stewart especially seemed very, very definite that it was a dive, and I don't know.
I think it probably was. I think it was a dive, but as I say, there was no angle that shows there was no contact.
I don't think he'll get retrospectively banned, because I don't know how you can demonstrate that.
He won't. I think the deadline is passed for that. And even Martin Canning, he came out after. He didn't say Nicholson dived. He was quite good about that. He was like, I don't think he dived. He was off balance, which if you're going at pace and someone lunges in at you, you can go off balance just by anticipating it.
Yeah.
And he's fallen over from there. I don't know. It might have actually just been a dive, but. Yeah, he won't get retrospectively banned, but I think we were quite lucky with that one. But again, Igor Rossi got dragged down in the box, which was a stone wall penalty, which wasn't given. So it was an interesting game with the penalty decisions that had to be made. But yeah, as we said, these things even themselves out over the course of 15 minutes.
Definitely. Yeah, that's karma.
But I also want to bring it onto the Robbie Muirhead section.
Oh, okay. Can we briefly mention that Jamie Walker actually scored the penalty?
No,
that was quite remarkable. Was this part of it?
Yes. The ball into Muirhead from I think it was Jamie Walker, and Muirhead's little touch into the path of Sam Nicholson was absolutely sumptuous. Huge fan of it.
Okay, yeah, no, you've made your case. Please bring it on to the Muirhead section.
Yeah, it's just like a very natural reaction. The ball was kind of powered in at him, and he saw the run of Nicholson. He's just sort of dinked his left foot onto it, straight into the path of Nicholson's great darting run from the right hand side, which I thought was just joyous. And then obviously he set up the third as well. Again with clever wing play, he drew the right back out and then feinted a couple of crosses before eventually finding space, putting a good ball to the back post. And I think that's huge for him as well, because it must be tough knowing that you are not the first choice, second choice, third, maybe even fourth choice striker, but he's still getting a lot of game time. And I like that Nielsen's putting the trust into him, but actually having a positive effect on the game is going to do so much for his confidence. Coming on, getting an assist. It's kind of like Zanata last season. We saw that, he was the go-to guy. He was the last 30 minutes, last 20 minutes. Throw him on, it adds pace, it adds a bit of creativity. But to actually see him coming on and making a difference is great. And I think, the murmurings are that him and Johnson are really pushing for a starting place now. They're not hanging back. And you can see that in their performances. They're trying really hard. They're going in against tired defences and they're battering them. And it's great that we have these options now.
I mean, it is interesting. It's even just the psychology of it when you're a young player like Muirhead, that when you're not starting, you are effectively being told you're not good enough to start, but it's your responsibility to change the game when we're chasing the result. Yeah. So that's like, well, does that mean I'm better than the guy that started or whatever? I mean, obviously it just means he's different.
It's not necessarily that you're not good enough.
But it's just talking about how you process it in your head. You know?
Exactly, but I think his attitude and stuff was brought into question during his time at Dundee United. Mm-hmm. I've seen absolutely nothing of a bad attitude from Muirhead. He's been very...
Well, curiously, Suter's attitude was called into question at Dundee United. It's almost like there's a huge common factor.
The fact that Dundee United last season were a bit of a basket case,
that's it.
That might be it. His energy, his willingness to get on the ball and chase players down, and then actually, his ability to take it past the guy and put it across like that, I absolutely love it. But I just really want to see that absolute thunder bastard of a left foot unleashed on goal, because I just want to see him get one chance, and then when I've seen it I can be like, right, well, I've seen it now.
And then once you've seen it, just die happy.
Exactly, yeah. Just I don't need to go to a Hearts game again.
Just expire, when are you going to see a player hitting the ball really well ever again?
Exactly, yeah.
Rubbish.
Nothing.
Talking about players hitting the ball really well.
Yep.
Sam's finish.
Yeah.
God, that was good.
His technique in hitting the ball is just... It's weird because it's not the same as, like, say, name a player who's got a great strike on him. I can't off the top of my head. Yeah, even Scatchell, like the way he hits the ball is so much more different. His foot's almost like pointing completely down when he hits the ball. He gets the perfect purchase on it, be it right or left foot with the laces. And it's just another sign of his amazing abilities. Another one who's out of contract at the end of the season as well. We'd love to see him sign even just a year's extension, but he's
and if he doesn't, he's dead to me.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, I'm going to boo him at the next game.
Yeah.
Anytime he misplaces a pass. But yeah, it looks to me like, last season, there's maybe a case could be made that he wasn't enjoying his football that much, especially after like Christmas, New Year time, after Osman Sow left and he didn't really have that guy up front to work with. He did look maybe a wee bit bereft of confidence, but that seems to be back now. Seems to be loving it again and just loving playing football, which is just so much fun to watch.
It's nice, isn't it?
It is, it's really nice. Really nice.
So yeah, so in the end, just an enjoyable game. Like there was a lot of frustration around in the stands, but hopefully that's a wee lesson to some people. Just stay calm. We are actually probably the second best team in this league.
Yeah, as things stand, I would say so. Aberdeen haven't clicked and Rangers don't look all that great. So yeah.
Who would have thought that buying washed up Premier League stars who have nothing left to play for or enjoy or do would backfire? Oh wait a minute, literally every person.
Yeah. The defence is so bad. It really is. Oh, sorry about that. That's Mark Warburton on the phone.
yeah, it's like, wait, it's
what was that you were saying?
This defence actually bad. It's like your actual best defender is Kiernan, and he's terrible.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ah well, let's bring it back to Hearts because I've got two of my favourite moments of the game to run down for you.
Oh please.
What
are you going to do them in reverse order?
No, first and foremost, I believe it was just at the start of the second half, although my memory for these sorts of things isn't great. Darian McKinnon, well-known Hamilton hardman, went in to body Perry Kitchen and ended up in a crumpled heap himself, with Kitchen just sort of jogging off looking at him like, what the fuck are you, mate? That was tremendous because McKinnon had ran about 30 yards to try and hit Kitchen and he literally just bounced off him and somehow got himself a dead leg. It was great.
Just lying on the ground regretting everything he'd ever done.
Exactly. And also Doug Emery after his fall in the box.
Yes.
And Igor Rossi getting directly in his face. Probably screaming something in Portuguese that Emery didn't really understand, but I enjoyed it anyway. It was good to see.
It was, yes, it
It's
was.
just there's just such a bizarre bit of beef between Hearts and Hamilton that I don't get, but I enjoy so much.
Yeah, kicked off at the full-time whistle as well. Ali Crawford's
hammered the ball at Perry Kitchen, who laughed at him, and then Igor Rossi got booked for taking Kitchen away. I don't know if Kitchen might have got booked. Don't know what happened. Crawford certainly got booked, and either one of Rossi or Kitchen got booked as well.
I think probably the ref saw Igor coming towards the situation with his sort of like cold killer's eyes and just sort of went, there's something aggressive happening here. I don't understand it, but it's probably best to get the card out.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it was enjoyable. Obviously, it started last season with the red cards that we got in New Douglas Park, with Rossi being one of them and Patterson being the other in the first game. So, yeah, I like the beef that we have with Hamilton. It's good fun. We should exploit it.
Just remembering Rossi's red card, that was just so sort of like, I desperately want you to not have ankles anymore. Yoink.
It was the most timid 2-footed challenge I've ever seen. His hands were actually on the ground.
Yeah.
It was like he was getting into a hot bath. It was amazing. But yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed those little bits of entertainment as well.
Yeah, well, we need someone to have aggro with, seeing how Hibs are still languishing.
Yes, aye. Not for much more though. You get that feeling. Yeah.
Got Aberdeen for our New Year's derby.
Aye,
Just down the road for the Tons fans.
Sorry, they all live in the Central Belt anyway, man.
Yeah,
They'll be
that's
fine.
true.
Yeah.
That'll be good. I'm looking forward to that. A good tussle.
Absolutely. I really enjoy playing against Aberdeen. They have such an awful record against us historically that it's always good fun.
Yeah.
Although I don't want to tempt fate, so maybe it'll be good. Maybe it won't.
Okay, who knows? Literally anything can
It's
happen.
actually a game of football. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is a funny old game.
It is.
Do you fancy singing songs about anyone?
I do. Yeah. I want to sing a song.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Who should we sing songs about?
The game changer.
the man, the only man who somehow managed to not get either of the Man of the Match awards.
I think it's just because he was a sub. I mean, I understand Kitchen getting it because Kitchen was great, but Jamie Walker got the other one, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he scored 2 goals.
He scored 2 goals, but he wouldn't have been anywhere near scoring 2 goals if it wasn't for Samuel Nicholson.
Sammy Nick.
Half an hour, 2 assists, 1 goal. What a performance.
What a guy. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's celebrate him in song.
Let's do that. We've been known to do that in the past, so I think we should just go ahead.
Okay. I'll go first, shall I?
Go for it, man.
I'm gonna thrust forward. This one's niche.
Oh, good. I like niche.
Yeah. From a 1940s Hollywood musical.
Well, yeah. No shit. I was expecting like mid-noughties shit indie or something, but no, 40s Hollywood. Okay, go for it.
As made famous by legendary actor, singer, sports journalist, and political activist Paul Robeson.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Hit me with it.
Young Sam Nicholson is partial to scoring, and he don't stop scoring, he just keeps scoring them goals. He don't get cheap haircuts, he don't sign contracts, and good tattoo decisions is soon forgotten. But that young Sam Nicholson just keeps scoring them goals.
Old Man River.
Old Man River.
Fucking right, man. Yeah. I can get on board with that.
Yeah, there you go.
That was good. That was really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't quite have the baritone that Paul Robeson had.
But yeah, you went for it, man. It's
Yeah.
alright. Mine's is a bit more upbeat than that. Yeah. Not hard.
You don't think racially overtoned dirges are going to take the terraces by storm?
Probably not. Probably not. Yeah, I think, this one's definitely not going to feature in any fan chant, but...
Hey, our speciality.
Yeah, I enjoy it though, it's a good song. He plays down at Tynecastle for the Gorgie team, a finest Scottish winger I ain't ever seen. Oh, we grew up in the borders down near Pennycook. The opposition players, they just stand and look. He never ever learned to play some defence so well, but he can skip past his man like a fucking gazelle. Go, go! Go, Sammy, go, go! Go, Sammy, go! There you go.
That's terrific.
That's fucking it. Yeah.
I bet you thought you were a shoo-in for all this song.
I nearly stumbled towards the end there, but I got through it.
No, that was terrific. You win.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I like yours as well. Let's call it a draw this week.
Oh, okay. Fantastic.
There's only two of us, so...
Cool. Audio handshake.
Yeah. Nice.
Good. I like the way you went in like strongly for that handshake, just so there'd be something on the table.
We needed something there. Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's it finished. Bye.
Oh, come on, man. We've got more to do than that. We've got to sell. We've got to put a pitch where you can find us.
Make sure people come back. Oh, I tell you what we do have to do, some housekeeping. We are now back on iTunes. That did happen before the break. If you are finding that your iTunes feed is not automatically updating, first try and give it a wee manual refresh. If it still isn't working, you may have to delete your current subscription and resubscribe. Sorry, but it's because Apple didn't pay their taxes. That's the reason.
Yep, dicks. I'm not going to get the iPhone 7. Fuck them.
You will though eventually, won't you?
Yeah, probably, man.
Because your phone's fucked.
It is fucked, man. Yeah. No, I'm probably going to do that. Yep. Sorry, Apple, if you're listening. I didn't mean what I said.
Please don't withhold the phone from me. It was an emotional time.
Get a lynch mob of Callum Patterson and Apple come at the flats.
Cool, but yeah, if you like the show and want to listen to it again, you could probably do that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can find us on Twitter first and foremost. At We Have No Cares.
That's the place.
It is. You are at Nickel Hay.
That's true.
As you always have been, and I am at RF Borthwick.
You remain so.
I will always be. Always be. Also, where should people go if they wanted to listen to this episode and all the other ones?
They should go to wehavenacares.tumblr.com.
Great, yeah. I'd rather you did it in the style of Old Man River, but fuck it. If you want to make it into just a shit chant, and go for it. I think that's about it, isn't it? Do we need to tell them about it?
We've got an email address, but nobody's emailed us for fucking months, so don't worry about it.
We have no cares at gmail.com if you want, if you think you can do any better than the two stunning songs that you heard today, for example.
You can't.
No.
Doomed. No.
Yeah, no.
Steve Crawford.
Steve Crawford.
Yo, are y'all ready for me yet? Well, yo, are y'all ready for me yet? Well, yo, are y'all ready for me yet? Well, here I go, here I go, here I go, yo!
Gute Flanke von Hemmel. Achtung, die Schotten